Good morning to you both. Pauline,
Morning,
you're at a
Deb.
cemetery this morning in Rockhampton. Why?
Yes. Deb, I find cemeteries fascinating to start with, but I think that it makes me reflect back on where the country, what it was like and where it's come from. These people here, most people, there's a grave right in front of me, 110 years old. These people have been through depressions, recessions, wars, hardships that Australians will never ever feel or come across in their life. And I think that, what's happened in this country all comes down to the decisions of politicians, and I'm a politician. So the decisions that I make, it's all about the future generations, and we have to get it right.
Well, that is definitely the case when it comes to economic policy. So in terms of the tax cut issue, Labor, they may not be needed if the coalition can, of course, secure your One Nation vote and the support of the Centre Alliance. Will you be backing these tax cuts?
In full, no, I won't be, Deb. I won't be. Actually, I haven't been approached by Matisse Cormann. There has been no negotiations that have gone on. I haven't spoken to the Prime Minister. And my office had a meeting with the Treasury last Friday to discuss the tax cuts. Now, the feedback that I've got is that they can do it one of two ways. We can either go with the tax cuts, or we can go with infrastructure projects, which will do exactly the same. But at the end of the day, we're going to end up with infrastructure that will deliver us cheaper electricity, security, and also the water security that we need as well for the country. Instead of increasing population, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the water to provide them. How many more farmers are we going to see destitute because they don't have the water? This is what I'm saying. Make the right decisions now for the future generations, and I think that governments have been too gutless to go into these huge big projects because they're looking after their mates, the multinationals, the big end of town that are making a lot of money out of the sacrifices of people themselves.
All right, and Tom, Labor, of course, says it's supporting the first wave of tax cuts as a matter of urgency to boost the economy. But in terms of the family finances, we know that people need money in their pockets now.
This is the thing, Deb. I mean, and this is what people have voted for. We saw only a couple of weeks ago interest rates have been cut yet again, record lows. Wage growth, really freezing at the moment. People are struggling to pay the bills, struggling to get through from day to day, struggling to buy the groceries, pay the mortgage. People need money, Deb. They need to be able to get through from week to week. It's not easy out there, and with wages, as I said, stagnating, they need the cash now to be able to pay for those bills.
Now, in other news this morning, a worrying report for millions of parents. The Productivity Commission warning that schools are failing to prepare students for university or for work. Pauline, this report says maths and reading standards aren't good enough, particularly for students from disadvantaged backgrounds. What can be done here? Is it up to government to intervene?
Better quality of teachers, Deb. They've been pushing these people through the education system, then on to universities to become teachers, and they can't even read or write themselves adequately to be in our classrooms teaching our kids. The problem starts and stops there. As I spoke to Simon Birmingham, the Minister for Education, last time when Parliament stood, look, that's where we need to start. I think they're pushing kids through the system. They're not up to it. They don't have the qualifications. I'd like to go back to grading. I think that we need to really look at what worked in the past, because what they're doing now is clearly not working. And out of the OECD countries in the world, we're 39th out of 42. Doesn't it tell you something? Our educational levels are pathetic and the kids are not being taught properly. And I go back to the whole thing. People have changed the system and it's not for the better.
Yeah, we are definitely falling behind the rest of the world. But, Tom, of course, billions of dollars is spent on education in the country.
Well, this is it, and it's a really complex issue, I find, Deb. Look, I think that the screening process could probably be better. Not all kids should be pushed towards university. Going to university is great, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee success. Some would be better in a vocational education or going straight into the workforce. Going to university isn't the panacea for being, successful in life. Some of the most successful people in business, in life, didn't attend university. But I don't think all the blame can go just to the schools. I think universities could perhaps be better equipped too to help those students once they get there as well.
Yeah, it needs to be addressed, that is for sure. And look, a big problem, another issue this morning we're discussing, that of crowd control at the AFL, also a big issue in other sporting events too. Behavioural security officers have been removing fans fans who were cheering or shouting in what they considered an inappropriate manner at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne over the weekend. Pauline, what's going on with the world here?
I totally agree with you. What a load of absolute rubbish. You can't do the wave anymore, you're controlled. So they want to intimidate those people who won't, say boo. Here we have the boo police out there, but the criminals, everyone else, will go and do what they want to do. There's no fear in our society anymore, only if you're innocent people trying to do the right thing. Well, I tell you what, if I go to the next state of origin and I actually get a little bit excited and they want to try and throw me out, go for it, mate, because I tell you what, you'll have a lot of bloody trouble.
Look out. It could be an issue there with you, Pauline, and the crowd behavioural beat officers.
You're right, it would. I won't be intimidated by anyone. I will not be intimidated for it, and I think it's ridiculous where it's going. People have had a gutful of it. It's the thought police, now it's the action police. Christ's sake, get over it, people. Enjoy yourselves. That's what the game's for. Go and enjoy yourself and tell them where to go.
And Tom, we know violence is a big issue at the AFL, as is parents' behaviour at children's sport. The balance there, it seems as though it's not actually been achieved correctly here.
Yeah, Deb, it seems like the actions of a stupid few is really impacting on the vast majority, and I think that's where the frustration is. Australians hate more than anything about being told how to act and how to behave. It does seem a bit mad that you can't go to the football and, really vent your cheering and really enjoy yourself. People will rebel against that very fast. And I think what's more infuriating is that the AFL hasn't been communicating this overly well with the general public as well, and that is really a massive cause and source of frustration for those people out there. So I think the more they try and do this, the more people might just do, as Pauline said, resist it.
Yep. All right, and we are getting plenty of viewer reaction from on that issue too, which we'll share with you shortly. But Pauline and Tom, we thank you so much, and enjoy the dead centre of town there, Pauline.
Thanks, Deb. Bye. Have a great day.